Well guys, I have done this so far. Yeah, remember how this bar came up and then just stopped? Well, I put this piece in there to kind of ergonomically make connections so it actually looks a little better. And I did that on both sides. And you can see that I haven't done anything with the rear end. Yeah guys, I haven't really done anything with the rear end. After I did that last video, things got a little hectic around the house here. We've had a storm, we've had really cold weather. Last few days ago we lost electricity, but it was only for a few hours. Another thing that we've been doing is we're still focusing on trying to get a house, trying to find some place to live where we can move out of here. The problem that we're having, well, we're ended up with a lot of problems. Right now, we're trying to see, I want to get a place that's outside of town, but we can't get too far out of town with the type of loan that we'd be able to be qualified for. Now, how much that qualification is, we're not really too sure yet. It's somewhere, we're assuming that it's going to be somewhere between $165,000 up to $200,000. Another problem that we're having is that a lot of the property that we've been looking at outside of town here is borderline just a little too expensive for us. There is affordable property outside of town, but it's literally pretty far outside of town. Plus, the internet connection out there, we wouldn't have anything other than satellite dish. And around here, satellite's pretty crappy. And you got to keep in mind that right now we are on cable, and we can have 3 computers on the internet at one time by doing that. And we've moved someplace where we would be on satellite. That's a different story. You know, everything gets bogged down and slows down off of satellite. But getting the internet, having some place where we've got reliable internet connectivity, well, is literally a must for us. Because of the stuff I do, and you know, the kids like watching videos, and the kids like watching games and stuff like that on YouTube here. Another thing that we've been looking at houses in town. But the problem with that is that a lot of the houses that are in town are kind of okay, but they're too small to be doing this kind of stuff. You know, having a garage and building this stuff, yeah, that's one thing. But then I won't have any videos out here of romping, driving around, or anything like that. I'd have to do what I'm doing, literally doing now. Well, you know, I'd have to load everything up onto the trailer and pull it to some property where we could get clearance to drive on there and do videos and stuff. So that's kind of a pain in the butt. At least here where we're staying, you know, I can at least do videos out in front here and stuff like that. We wouldn't even be able to do that on any place in town. So it's either get a place in town with a garage and I can keep doing builds, but no driving videos. And if I did do a driving video, I'd get busted by the cops on the street or down the alley. So, you know, it's either get a place in town and have to shut down all this stuff, or, you know, and then it would just turn into a pain in the ass, always having to drive outside of town to do romp videos and stuff, you know, when you could just, you know, if you had a bigger property, you'd be able to do this kind of stuff there. There are some properties that we were looking at, but we're just kind of up in the air right now, so we've been driving around looking at properties on this side of town. We kind of like to stay within this same school district, but the more we're looking at it, it's really kind of, you know, big iffy. And another problem that we're having is that we got signed up on this assistance program that'll help us make a down payment. Well, the problem is that it gives us, we have to have a property found in 8 months. And literally on the table getting ready to buy it in 8 months. And at the rate that we're going, you know, it's like we purposefully have to settle with something or we don't get that. You know, and it's kind of stupid. You know, when it comes to buying a house that you're going to spend the rest of your life in, you can't settle with shit. You know, you got to, and you don't want to do what all these other people do and buy a house and then, you know, a few years later turn around and sell it. You don't want to do that because it's just, so whatever house we get, you know, that's going to be it. That's going to be it. And Crystal's more into finding some place in town, and, you know, I can kind of understand that, you know, because you don't have to drive as far to work and stuff like that. Then there's the factor if we go too far out of town, then we don't have very good internet connection, you know, and some of that stuff is, I don't know, some of the properties look really great. the distance behind, you know, what you're not making up for in whatever, you're making up for gas, you know what I'm saying? You're spending all this gas to get to and from work every day, you know? So there's a lot of factors that we have to factor in, and we're just not really having too much luck. So we like to stay within this school district, which is a Hawthorne school district here in Missoula. And we're just not really having too much luck. And I like to find some place outside of town, not too far outside of town, you know, within about 2 or 3 miles, 4 or 5 maybe, 6 at the maximum outside of town here, just because, you know, you don't really spend too much money in gas, and we'd have enough area. You know, some of these properties that we've been looking at, you know, have 1.5 acres, and that would be great to do romping videos and stuff like that. You know, if we were to go that route, you know, I could do more actual fun videos. You know, I could actually be putting more driving content out. But it's Crystal's more focused on trying to find some place in town now, because I mean, you know, this go-kart stuff doesn't, you know, I don't generate the views to be making very much money, so to her this isn't important. This is just some stupid hobby that I've got going on, because it's not as big as to really pay any decent amount of money for any bills, so it's not that important to her. And it's so if we find a house in town, then it's just going to be too much. Doing this stuff is just going to be too much of a hassle. It's just going to be too much. I mean, I don't want to quit, but if that's all we've got available, then I'll have to do that. You know, I can't be doing build videos. I might do something else, maybe, I don't know. But you know, we'd really like to be able to find some place outside of town here, and I don't know. So, you know, if we had a property where I could actually take these things out and romp and drive and jump and do all that kind of stuff, you know, my view count would go up. You know, you guys want to see more of that stuff. And we've looked at a lot of different avenues. You know, don't be thinking that we haven't been. We've been looking at a lot of different avenues. Buying land and putting a house up, building a house, stuff like that. But that even gets borderline too expensive. We've looked at modular homes and looking at property outside of town. You know, just getting a house. You know, buying a modular home and getting property is one thing, but now you got to put in the sewer line, connect the electricity, have an estimator come in and estimate the property. You know, there's a lot of little stuff that you really have to do if you build your own home. So we've already been evaluating that. And you don't want to get a trailer. Don't want to do that. We want property that is actually going to appreciate in value, go up in value, not depreciate. So we don't want to move into a trailer, because that's how trailers are. You know, they depreciate. They go down in value. You know, in 30 or 40 years from now, you know, after me and Crystal pass away, you know, we want to leave Allie and Cody with something tangible. You know, not just leave them in a slump of bills, or okay, now you have to defend for yourself, or now you got to pull, you know, now you got to pull strings and you got to walk the same path we did, and you know, that's not cool for parents to do to their children. You know, we want a house that's going to appreciate in value, so in the event that we're gone, Allie and Cody will have something to fall back on. Been doing a lot of stuff here in the past 2 weeks, so that's where it stands right now. But tomorrow I'm going to be going down and I'm going to have to get some steel. There's some little connections things that I have to get. I went down there today to get some, but they were already closed by the time I got there, so I'm going to have to go tomorrow morning, which is Halloween day. And then I'm going to try to get out here, do a little bit on this, try to do what I can, and then I'll be taking that video and putting it up on Sunday. So, yeah. Been pretty busy here, guys. Haven't even been in the shop, haven't had a chance to get in the shop and on the internet. Just lots of stuff. Life gets in the way, so that's where we're at. But anyways, guys, so I'm going to get on out of here. I'd like to welcome all my new subscribers and all my new viewers. Hi. And I'll see you guys in the next one. All right. Bye-bye.